Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock, Drogheda. Good news, you can't catch the virus through a computer screen or through a camera. I've made no secret of the fact that I personally struggle a bit, find it uncomfortable putting on a mask. It's not something I'm used to doing in my life up to this point. And today I really did struggle. Today I was visiting a family, a lady who's just lost her husband in sudden and tragic circumstances. And when I arrived at that house, more than anything else, I wanted to look at her full open face. I wanted to be able to console her. I wanted to draw close and express a pastor's heart. And I couldn't because of the public health restrictions. I had to explain, and I think I was explaining to myself and reminding myself as much as I was reminding her that because in my pastoral role I am inevitably going to have more close contacts than most people at this time, it's imperative that I do wear a mask when I'm doing so, not because I'm scared of catching anything, but because I don't want to then pick up something that I will then communicate to somebody else and be the cause of somebody else becoming very sick or even dying. And so out of love, I wear a mask when I go visiting, even though I find it extremely annoying and inconvenient to do so. I'm going to be honest with you, I used to get annoyed at people for wearing masks before this whole crisis occurred. There would be times when I'd be in an airport and I would see somebody walking along with a mask and I'd look at them derisively, really, and say, I'm saying to myself, do they think we're all germ-ridden and that they've got to wear that thing? Now, of course, we're in a very different situation, and I do want to express my love for others by not putting them in danger by my actions. Now, I don't know if you're aware of this, but the English word hypocrite comes from the concept of wearing a mask. Hypocrite was the Greek word for an actor, and it comes from a compound of two Greek words that literally means one who interprets from underneath, or what that is, in other words, somebody who speaks from underneath a mask. And from that we get our English word hypocrite. And that Greek word, hypocrites, was used by Jesus on a number of occasions, most notably in Matthew chapter 6 in the Sermon on the Mount, to describe the Pharisees. Because basically, in today's world, there are at least 4 different ways you can wear a mask. Some people wear a mask to protect themselves. I mean, this is why surgeons and others have often worn surgical masks. PPE, personal protective equipment, has been a standard in hospital settings for a long time, that people want to protect themselves. And then, of course, there are people who would wear masks because they want to hide their face in order to commit evil, like bank robbers. Then there are those people who would wear masks in order to look better than they really are. That's why Jesus called the Pharisees hypocrites. They were putting a face on and pretending to be more holy than they really were. And then, of course, there are people who will wear a mask to bless. In fact, it wasn't until scientists discovered that germs transmit sicknesses that people began putting their hand over their mouth when they coughed or sneezed. Before we were aware of the existence of germs, people just coughed in your face and sneezed without even bothering to block the force of it, because they didn't realize they could harm people by doing so. I want to say this to you today. I would encourage and commend people to wear a mask in order to protect others, as a sign of love. If you are worried about catching something yourself, and particularly if you have a condition that would make you more vulnerable to this coronavirus, I encourage you to wear a mask as well. But please don't wear a mask to commit evil, and please don't wear a mask to pretend to be something you're not. Our task as Christians in today's world is, even if we have to wear a mask to protect ourselves, or if we have to wear a mask to protect others, as I do when I'm visiting, nevertheless, let's be open and honest about who we are and not pretend to be something we're not. That's not always easy to do, but I pray that God will help you and help me to do that in our walk this day. And I'd invite you to join us again on Monday for another Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda.